Now, here are a couple of cool tricks on Microsoft PowerPoint that might be helpful to improve your game in terms of fostering great communication and engaging visuals for a specific topic. So let's take for example in here. One is, how can you introduce 3D into your specific image or concept or explanation? The way to do that is, of course, you have on PowerPoint, all you do is go to insert. There is a section here that is called 3D models, and once you get into that, you can actually go to either your device, create one using Paint 3D. I'll show you that later on in future videos. And once you go on here down to stock 3D models, click on that, you're going to see a plethora of great models that you can actually get. Like for example, here we have animals, we have dinosaurs, we have 3D shapes, we got biology. For the purpose of this particular video, we're going to look at biology, and once you click on biology, we got a couple of great images here. We have the coronavirus, if you want to click on that and maybe have a comparison with other cells, you can do that. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to look at animal cell and one other one which is called a plant cell, and a plant cell can be found by scrolling down to something like this, and once you click on those two, you click on insert, and we are back at it with what are the two three-dimensional objects that we're going to explore. And this will take a while, but it should surely be what you have. So once you have this, all you have to do is just click on it, play around with it, rotate it around. You can actually drag it to whatever position you want. You can use that rotating symbol to rotate to what image that pleases you. And likewise, the same thing applies to the plant cell. Now, we have this too, and what are the next things that you can introduce? Another thing you can introduce to spicing your specific image or engagement is in terms of this particular tool, which is under insert. We have SmartArt, and SmartArt will give you many ways by which you can show comparisons or show various lists of things that are present versus absent, or processes in terms of how can you go from one step to another, as you can see right over here. And cycle, you can actually look at how one connects to another and it goes on and on. You can actually show it in terms of a quotient way of approaching various topics, and you can go to hierarchy. Hierarchy was pretty cool to dive into when you talk about starting from a big idea and breaking it down into simpler and simpler concepts. We did that with Google Slides, which was really fantastic to check out, but in here it is applicable to PowerPoint. And next here is relationship. Relationship between one versus the other. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? Is one heavier than the other? But for the purpose of this particular video, we're going to look at the list. When we go to list, we see a couple of interesting things here. We're going to pick picture, accent, and once you click on this and click OK, we have this actually displayed right here. Now, a couple of honorable mentions here is that we have a couple of added shapes. If you want to add shapes here, you can just go in, click on this drop down, add shape above or below, in this case below, and we have 4. If you want to delete, all you do is just click on the boxes, click on blank space, and there we go. That is how you remove various squares. Now we have 2. We can play around with whatever we want. In this case here, if you want to add a bullet, you can add a bullet here, and that is a way for you to go about it for this particular topic. So in this part here, we are going to add the main title, which is in this case animal cell, and then the sub bullets will be what makes animal cell different from plant cell. So one might be undefined shape. That is one. Another one is once you hit enter, you're going to have a new point, and in here you can just say, oh, no chloroplast, and once you have that, you're good to go for animal cell. Likewise for plant cell, in this case we're going to have the title plant cell. And in here, we're going to look at what makes plant cell different from animal cell. And plant cell overall has a defined shape, and hit enter comes to the next one, or you just hit blank and you're good. So in here, you're going to give another point. In this case, it says that has chloroplast. And so those are the interesting things you can introduce here. Another add-ons here is that for the image, you can have, for example, click on the image here and click again. You can get image from online, and if you want to have a stock file, you can get that, or if you have one from a file or from your computer, you can go with that. But in this case, I'm going to go with stock image, which means that, in this case, we have it here. And now what we can do is just type, for example, animal. And once you click on animals, you have a couple of cool animals here that's of interest. We're just going to click on this one because this one has lovely colors in there, and voila, it's going to appear right in this particular space. Likewise for plants, once you click on that, you can not only click on this, but also you can click on that particular square, and to give you access to insert pictures. And once you have that, you can just click plant. And once you click on plant, we have these numerous types of plants here. Since we have diverse ones, we can click on this one, and once you have that, we have it displayed right over here. So that is an interesting thing for you to be aware of in terms of how this can improve your game, in terms of showing various interesting concepts and easily creating graphics that allows you and your audience to understand what is going on. If you want to introduce animation, you can introduce animation. So while you're explaining it, it's rotating, and to do that, all you do is use animation, have this swinging. You can use a rival to bring one to the other. In this case, you can put swinging for both, which means in this case you hit control and click, control click, which means that it's going to be happening at the same time. Once you click on swing, it means that they are going to be performing that particular movement at the same time. Next here is, in this case, we have this particular segment, and the question here is, how is the animation going to look like? We can use arrival as you want. You can use numerous, I would say, animation in here, fly in. Everything comes into play. That is really interesting for you to play around in terms of how not only you are going to spice your game in terms of communication, but also engagement in your specific course material. If you want to get back your text panel, what you have to do when you close this is to go up here to text panel. Once you click on it, it reappears right over here. Another thing to keep in mind also is in terms of when you are promoting specific text after you have your text panel. Let's say, for example, we have this panel. We can promote it to the main by clicking on it, and we are going to be able to create not only a new main text but also a new section. So pretty much you're going to have three things you're going to be comparing, which in this case it doesn't make sense when you have it set up this way. So to avoid this, by eliminating it, you can demote it by clicking on demote, and it is part of the second comparison part. Another one here that's pretty cool is layout, where you can see diverse ways of organizing the same concept, and whichever one that pleases you, or if you want more, you can click on these. You can see plethora of ways to show the same particular concept. This kind of looks like hierarchy, but that doesn't really work in terms of what we are trying to do right over here. So I suggest that whatever one that pleases you, go for it and enjoy it in this particular case. Now, another one here is looking at the SmartArt style. SmartArt style is pretty cool in terms of how you want it to be revealed graphically. I like this because it shows a little bit of a cartoon text that is almost like a 3D, but this one right here is a true three-dimensional take on it, which kind of reflects the image that you have right here in 3D. But I'm going to go with the depth version part, which is more of a cartoon version, and we click on it, and it spiced it up a little bit more. The second one here to keep in mind is format, and the format here has to do with how you organize not only the text box but also the text themselves. Like for example, if you want your animal cell to be a little bit more of a clearly decorated looking text, all you can do is just highlight everything and then go to effects or any style, word art style of your choice. Whichever one that pleases you, you can go for it. For example, in this case, we can use this as we want, and you can change the color if that pleases you. And for plant cells, since it is kind of in the green theme, you can change it to this and then go to fill and then click on green. That might help out in terms of, you know, spicing it up, but outline also has to match it as well, just for preference purposes. So I hope you found this really informative. Please hit a comment down below, let me hear your thoughts. More tricks will be coming up soon in terms of other ways by which you can present or compare things in your specific topics that you're about to address in your classroom. All the same, please hit a comment down below, let me hear your thoughts about this, but that way I can talk to you all soon. Stay smart as always and believe in yourselves.